What if I told you that one of the most powerful nations on Earth once lived in complete isolation for over 250 years? A land of silent warriors, sacred emperors, brutal wars, and unbelievable rebirth. This is not just history. This is Japan. Stopwatch 1 to 230 Mystery and Legend. Long before skyscrapers and bullet trains, Japan was ruled by spirits and gods. The emperor was believed to be a living descendant of the sun goddess herself. And warriors called samurai lived by a code where honor was more valuable than life. Stopwatch 230 to 4 o'clock Power and conflict. But behind the beauty was blood. Japan was torn apart by endless wars. Brothers fought brothers. Daimyo fought for land. And the samurai ruled through steel and loyalty. Stopwatch 4 to 5:30 The unthinkable decision. Then Japan did something no other great civilization ever dared to do. It closed its doors to the entire world. No foreigners. No trade. No influence. For 250 years, Japan vanished from the world map. Stopwatch 5:30 to 7 o'clock Collapse and shock. When the world finally forced Japan to open its doors, it was weak, behind, humiliated. But what happened next shocked the entire world. Stopwatch 7 to 8:30 Rise like never before. In less than 50 years, Japan transformed itself. From samurai swords to machine guns. From wooden ships to iron warships. Japan rose faster than any nation in history. Stopwatch 8:30 to 9:30 Tragedy and rebirth. That power led to ambition, ambition to war, and war to destruction. 2 atomic bombs. Hiroshima, Nagasaki. Japan was reduced to ashes. Stopwatch 9:30 to 10 o'clock Cliffhanger. Retention master. But from those ashes, Japan did the impossible. It rose again. Stronger, smarter, unbreakable. This is the story of how Japan became what it is today. Ancient Japan, the birth of a civilization, 14,000 BC 300 AD. Japan's history begins thousands of years ago with the Jomon people, one of the oldest known cultures in the world. They lived as hunters and gatherers and are famous for their cord-marked pottery, some of the earliest pottery ever discovered. Later came the Yayoi period when rice farming, metal tools, and social classes emerged. This era laid the foundation for Japanese society and connected Japan with China and Korea through trade and culture. 2. The rise of Imperial Japan, 300 AD 794 AD. Japan formed its first centralized government under the Yamato clan. The emperor was considered divine, believed to be descended from the sun goddess Amaterasu. Buddhism arrived from China and Korea, deeply influencing Japanese art, architecture, and philosophy. The capital was established in Nara, and Japan began recording its history in written form. 3. The Heian period art, culture, and elegance, 794 to 1185. The capital moved to Heian-kyo, modern Kyoto. This era is known as Japan's golden age of culture. Development of Japanese writing, kana, classic literature like the Tale of Genji, court life, poetry, and refined traditions. However, political power slowly shifted away from the emperor toward military families. 4. Age of the Samurai and Shoguns, 1185 to 1600. Japan entered the feudal era. Samurai warriors became dominant. The shogun held real power. Bushido, way of the warrior, shaped Japanese values. Famous clans like Minamoto and Ashikaga ruled Japan. This period also saw civil wars, betrayals, and legendary warriors. 5. The Sengoku period, Japan at war, 1467 to 1600. Known as the Warring States period, Japan was divided among powerful warlords called daimyo. Key figures: Oda Nobunaga, Toyotomi Hideyoshi, Tokugawa Ieyasu. Their ambition eventually led to the unification of Japan. 6. Tokugawa shogunate, isolation and peace, 1603 to 1868. Japan entered 250 years of peace under the Tokugawa shoguns. Japan closed itself t. Japan entered 250 years of peace under the Tokugawa shoguns. Japan closed itself to the world, Sakoku policy. strict social order. Samurai became administrators. Economy and cities flourished quietly. But isolation would not last forever. 7. Meiji Restoration, birth of modern Japan, 1868 to 1912. Japan opened its doors to the West. The Meiji Emperor transformed Japan rapidly. Modern army and navy, railways and factories, Western education and laws. Japan became a powerful nation in just decades. 8. Imperial expansion and World War II, 1912 to 1945. Japan expanded aggressively across Asia. Invasion of China. Alliance with Germany and Italy. Attack on Pearl Harbor, 1941. The war ended tragically with atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. 9. Post-war Japan. From ruins to miracle, 1945 to 1990. Japan rebuilt itself into an economic superpower.
Peaceful Constitution.
Technological revolution. Brands like Toyota, Sony, Honda. Anime, manga, and pop culture rise. This period is called the Japanese economic miracle. 10. Modern Japan, tradition meets technology, 1990 present. Today Japan is a global leader in robotics and technology, culture and entertainment, discipline and innovation. Despite challenges, Japan remains one of the most respected nations in history.
Created by AI documentary.